Wednesday, February 8th.
Get an earlier start on the day. News Channel 5 at 4:30 a.m. weekdays.
Good evening, I'm Bob Schieffer. Ford Motor Company is losing money, and today it announced a huge cutback in its workforce as it prepares to shut down plants from Michigan to Georgia. We start there tonight, and we'll cover these stories.
Government eavesdropping. The president goes on offense. It's not unauthorized snooping, he says, but a terrorist surveillance program. I'm John Roberts.
The companies can afford it, but thousands of miners are without a simple technology that could save lives. I'm Sharon Alfonsi.
And I'm Mark Phillips in London, where a spy scandal has left no stone unturned, literally.
This is the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
Well, when a company loses more than $1.5 billion, you can expect it to take drastic action. And that is what Ford lost here in America last year. And today, the drastic action came. It tried to reinvent itself. The nation's second largest automaker announced it will close 14 of its plants over the next 6 years and cut as many as 30,000 jobs. Here's Anthony Mason with the details.
Ford will cut more than 20% of its workforce in the sweeping restructuring plan.
These cuts are a painful last resort, and I'm deeply mindful of their impact.
The 14 manufacturing facilities to be closed include 7 assembly plants, like this one in Atlanta.
I'd really hate to see this job go. I mean, because it's going to hurt.
But Ford is hurting. This century-old company that invented the mass-produced automobile lost $1.6 billion in the U.S. last year.
You can't round the corners. You can't try to finesse this. Bold, strong moves, I think, are absolutely essential.
Ford's pension and health care costs add more than $1,200 to the price of every car it produces, a burden David Cole says Ford's foreign competitors don't have to bear.
And unless you can significantly erode that cost problem, any company that has it and can't deal with it is going to go away.
Ford's cars have also been falling out of favor. 5 years ago, Ford had nearly a quarter of the U.S. market. This year, that's expected to fall to 17%.
What do you have to do differently?
Well, I think what we have to do is to convince people that we make a great product that they want to buy.
At the Detroit Auto Show earlier this month, CEO Bill Ford told us he's counting on cars like the Ford Fusion to lead the comeback.
We have to arrest the slide. We think we've got the products to do it. The only way you can ever do that is with product.
Ford unveiled the new Edge at the auto show, its entry in the market's fastest growing segment, crossovers or CUVs.
We expect the CUV segment to actually eclipse the SUV segment this year.
The man in the middle of that show, Mark Fields, is the man Bill Ford has given the job of turning the company around.
It means adopting a change or die mentality.
Fields says in any 100-year-old company, there's arterial blockage. His job, as he described it to me, is to add the Lipitor. So will it work? 4 years ago, Ford went through a similar painful restructuring, and now it's in trouble again. Bob?
But you're talking about here, what they're talking about is not just reorganizing. This is changing an entire culture, isn't it?
Yeah, Bob, you've got an old economy company here doing business in the new economy. Ford ruled the roost once, became big, less nimble. The size that was an advantage is now a burden. And as Bill Ford put it today, we've got to be a big company thinking like a small company.
Okay. Thank you very much, Anthony. Well, whatever you drive, the cost of filling the tank is going up penny by penny. The Energy Department says gas is up 19 cents in the past month and a half to a nationwide average tonight of $2.34 a gallon. In Iraq today, 3 more American service members were killed by roadside bombs, including 2 Air Force people hit by a blast north of Baghdad. But there's been no word on the fate of American journalist Jill Carroll, whose kidnappers threatened to kill her last Friday. U.S. and Iraqi forces have been searching for her, but so far without success. President Bush is out to convince the American people that the government needs to be able to spy and without a court order on U.S. citizens who are suspected of having ties to terrorists. He took his campaign on the road today, and John Roberts has our report.
President Bush opened up a new line of defense of the NSA eavesdropping today, scoffing at claims he broke the law.
You know, it's amazing when people say to me, well, he was just breaking the law. If I wanted to break the law, why was I briefing Congress?
To a crowd of 9,000 people at Kansas State University, he described the spying as a terrorist surveillance program. No scandal here, he insisted. In fact, it would be scandalous not to do it.
If they're making phone calls into the United States, we need to know why.
The White House wants to make this an election year issue. On Friday, Karl Rove painted critics of the program as soft on defending the nation. He singled out Democrats, but ignored the fact many Republicans, like Senator Sam Brownback, who was on stage with President Bush today, previously have expressed concerns about it. He told CBS News this last week.
I think it's in a gray territory, and we need to have a thorough look at the legality of it.
With congressional hearings set to start February 6th, the White House has launched an aggressive campaign to rally support. Wednesday, President Bush goes to the NSA. Tomorrow, the Attorney General makes a public pitch. And today, it was the former NSA chief, now Deputy Intelligence Director, saying if only they'd had this before 9/11.
Had this program been in effect prior to 9/11, it is my professional judgment that we would have detected some of the 9/11 al-Qaeda operatives in the United States.
The White House is keenly aware of the political stakes over privacy issues, taking every opportunity to say it's mindful of civil liberties and that the program is not some massive drift net soaking up everyone's communications.
We are going after very specific communications that our professional judgment tells us we have reason to believe are those associated with people who want to kill Americans.
That is the argument President Bush hopes that people will buy into and see him as the protector-in-chief. And the White House believes if they do, they just might be able to turn this scandal into a virtue. Bob?
All right. Thank you, John. Encouraging news tonight about Randall McCloy Jr., the only coal miner to survive the Sago mine disaster. He's been upgraded to fair condition, and doctors say he is improving every day. Meantime, the U.S. Senate opened a hearing today on the 2 West Virginia mining disasters that killed 14 men. And the West Virginia legislature is taking action as well. Here's Sharon Alfonsi.
A community casts its eyes upwards, looking for answers after another deadly ending to a mining accident this weekend. It's a heart-wrenching scene that played out just weeks ago in another West Virginia town, Sago, where 12 miners were killed. Today, West Virginia lawmakers voted to require new safety measures and technology that might have saved the lives of the 14 miners.
Could some of these devices have saved the miners' lives?
It would have increased the chances that we could have gotten to them.
And at a hearing on Capitol Hill today, mining expert David McAteer showed a Senate subcommittee some of that equipment, like this. It's a personal tracking device. It works like a GPS.
Say it's about $20.
That's something that
But with this $20, you could locate any miner that had that.
Right. There's a transponder that's stationed throughout the mines, and then you can locate any individual at any time.
And if the Sago miners had carried radio receivers like this, they may not have waited for rescuers.
If there had been ability to talk to these miners, probably would have told them your best opportunity for survival is to leave.
But experts say only about 14 mines currently use the technology. 14 out of 15,000 mines in the country. The radio system would cost a mine the size of Sago about $100,000. Sago posted a $110 million profit last year. So if they could afford it, why didn't they have it?
We still don't have today, as far as we can see, technology that will allow us to penetrate rock for communication purposes.
It's absolute nonsense. That's you heard that today, that reliability business? These are reliable. I mean, we have been used. They're used in other countries. I mean, this is simply unacceptable.
And West Virginia lawmakers say they're not waiting for the technology to be perfect. They say it's good enough, and they want it to be in place in mines there by the end of next month. Bob?
All right, Sharon. An FDA advisory panel recommended today that the prescription diet drug Xenical be sold in a low-dose, non-prescription version. Our medical correspondent, Elizabeth Caledon, is here to talk about that. Elizabeth, this is a big deal. Why did they do this?
Well, Bob, this is the first diet drug ever to go from prescription to over-the-counter, and the basic reason we did this is because we are losing the battle of the bulge. 2/3 of Americans are still overweight, and the consensus among medical professionals is that diet and discipline just isn't enough to help Americans lose weight. We really need a more potent help on the market to improve our public health.
Well, what about the safety part of it?
The safety was the biggest concern for the FDA panel, and part of the reason for that is there's a fear that people will pop this pill like candy in an effort to just lose 5 or 10 pounds. This drug is serious medicine. It's for people who are 20 to 30 pounds overweight or more. And the bottom line is it has been on the market since 1999 with a prescription, so it has a long, solid safety record. And I guess, Bob, at the end of the day, the FDA decided that that safety record was enough to put this over the counter.
All right. Well, thank you, Elizabeth. And coming up, Palestinian elections are just a couple of days away. Why America is dead set against a popular party with a violent past is next.
Here's a fresh solution in bladder protection. New Serenity pads from Tena. With a unique soft top sheet with multi-inlets to absorb liquid faster than before. Serenity feels dry. You feel fresh.
Trying to get more fiber and calcium in your diet? Well, it's so much easier with Metamucil Capsules Plus Calcium. It's fiber for regularity and calcium for your bones. Metamucil Capsules Plus Calcium. Stay regular, stay strong.
Our taxes are done. Our taxes are done.
What?
Shouldn't we go to one of those tax stores?
Why? TurboTax asks me questions just like the tax guy does, then puts the answers on all the right forms.
But the tax guy checks it.
TurboTax checks for errors and misdeductions.
How do we know it's right?
All calculations are guaranteed accurate. Over 20 million returns were prepared with TurboTax last year alone.
Well, if it's so good, then how much are we getting back? Wow!
TurboTax. Taxes made easy. Taxes done right.
Dad was having trouble remembering my son's name and doing everyday things.
These problems may not be normal aging. They could be early signs of Alzheimer's disease. Talk to your doctor. Early treatment is important. Call now to get an information pamphlet free from the makers of Aricept. It suggests signs to look for and how to talk to your doctor. If it is mild to moderate Alzheimer's, Aricept can help. Aricept is one treatment option you and your doctor can consider. It is well tolerated, but not for everyone. People at risk for stomach ulcers or who take certain other medicines should tell their doctors, because serious stomach problems such as bleeding may get worse. Some people may experience fainting. Common side effects are nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, not sleeping well, muscle cramps, feeling tired, or not feeling hungry. In studies, these were usually mild and temporary.
Aricept is helping him do better.
Call 1-877-MEMORY-6. If it's Alzheimer's, Aricept can help.
So you're saying he's a fairy?
Snack fairy.
Help! A little help! And he brought you gifts?
Yep. Brought these.
Fig Newtons. 100% whole grain?
They're good, actually.
Yep, they are good.
We love your cookies, sir.
What? Ah! Walk it off, Snack Fairy!
New 100% whole grain Fig Newtons from Nabisco.
Snack happy.
Iran raised the stakes today in its ongoing dispute with the United States and Europe over its nuclear program. An Iranian official said that if the matter is sent to the UN Security Council, as Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice wants, Iran will proceed with a full-scale uranium enrichment program, a step toward building nuclear weapons. Palestinians are holding elections Wednesday, and the Hamas party, which the United States believes is a terrorist organization, is now running even with Yasser Arafat's old party to get a majority in the parliament. That worries not just Israel, but the United States as well, and today Secretary Rice warned Palestinians it would be hard to deal with a group that has not ruled out the use of violence. We have more on where things stand now from David Hawkins in Hebron.
The race is too close to call, but pre-election polls suggest Hamas could win as many seats in the next Palestinian legislature as Fatah, Yasser Arafat's old party, which has been in charge for more than a decade.
To most of the world, Hamas is a terrorist group, but here, they're the good guys.
They've led the fight against Israel, and they're running a campaign against government corruption. On the campaign trail in Hebron, Hamas candidate Abdel Aziz Dweik joked about the Islamist group's call for the destruction of Israel, saying it would recognize Israel's right to exist when the Jews move their nation to Switzerland.
We are representing a resistance movement, and as long as there is occupation, we have full right to resist occupation. Occupation means slavery, intimidation, and humiliation.
It's not just the hardline rhetoric that has made Hamas so popular among Palestinians. It's also a social service organization that runs schools, hospitals, and charities. Even well-known Fatah candidates like Palestinian chief negotiator Saeb Erekat are on the defensive. He's facing a stiff challenge from Hamas in Jericho.
Okay, we committed mistakes. Okay, there are those of us who try to abuse their offices for personal gains. But we're determined in Fatah to do the cleaning up.
Erekat is campaigning hard in his hometown, and like the rest of his party, he's trying to get back into step with the voters. To help out Fatah, the United States has spent about $2 million on its campaign. It may be too little too late, though, to stop Hamas. U.S. officials are warning the Palestinians that they'll cut off financial aid if Hamas is part of the government. Hamas candidates like Abdelaziz Dweik aren't worried about that. He's confident that Hamas has the votes to win the election, not to mention support from a much higher power. David Hawkins, CBS News, Hebron.
A building under construction in downtown Nairobi, Kenya collapsed today. Scores of construction workers were trapped in the rubble of the 5-story structure. Emergency workers and passers-by worked to free the victims. At least 9 died and more than 70 were injured. Just ahead, they're home from the Iraq War and running for political office. We'll have their story in tonight's Eye on America. But first, CBS News honors American heroes. Andrew Sukani, Doc as they called him, chose to become a combat medic because it is challenging, as when he was treating an Iraqi police officer and the enemy began firing. Doc dived over his patient, saving his life. For his heroism, he was awarded the Army Commendation Medal. Sukani plans to go to college and is thinking about becoming a teacher.
What cooks like butter, spreads like butter, and has a fresh dairy taste like butter without the cholesterol and high saturated fat? Smart Balance Buttery Spread. Smart Balance just received another Best Taste Award and is endorsed by professional chefs. It's the only spread with a patented balance of fats to help increase HDL good cholesterol and avoids trans fat naturally, not artificially as some spreads do. Smart Balance. You're going to love that buttery taste.
Let's go now to Jorge Carmona for an update on the impending meteor shower. Jorge?
That's right, Tina. The scientists here are saying that the direct cosmic impact will happen in the next few hours.
To hold more unwanted things every time, use Glad Force Flex trash bags. Their unique diamond texture means you don't have to be afraid of overstuffing. For stretchable strength, get Glad.
Hey, watch this.
All right.
Hilarious.
Windex. It's so powerful it starts to work even before you wipe. Because everyone loves a streak-free shine.
Let's do it again.
Windex is best on glass. For a streak-free shine and a lot less time, reach for Windex wipes.
I'm not a patient man. Express photo, too slow. Sit down meal, too long. Same day cleaners, not fast enough. Heartburn, who has the time? I take maximum strength Zantac. It's fast, so I can take it before a meal to prevent heartburn, or after to quickly relieve tough heartburn. And the leading prescription, it can take a day or more to fully work. Me? Wait, that's just crazy talk. For me, maximum strength Zantac.
Hey, buddy, move it!
I like this guy.
Maximum strength Zantac, the speed you need against heartburn.
Have you been missing something at 10 o'clock?
Maybe you haven't been watching News Channel 5. The experience to cover breaking news better than anyone else. The interviews everyone wants, but only News Channel 5 gets. Are you missing it? The most trusted name in weather forecasting. Investigations that simply don't happen anywhere else. Are you missing it? See what everyone else is watching. Middle Tennessee's #1 source for news at 10 o'clock. News Channel 5, your news and information leader.
With the latest U.S. casualties in Iraq today, the number of American servicemen and women killed there now stands at 2,234. The wounded total well over 16,000. As veterans of the Iraq War come home, some are enlisting in a new battle, a political battle. Jim Axelrod has their story in tonight's Eye on America.
We'll come up and see you. In Columbus, Ohio, the capital of America's red versus blue political divide, U.S. Senate candidate Paul Hackett is recruiting support.
I'm running for United States Senate in Ohio.
A Democrat and a trial lawyer, it's no surprise Hackett is a big critic of the president, especially when it comes to the war.
What's going on in Iraq is part of what's wrong with this administration, and it's part of the misdirection of our country.
The surprise is that just 10 months ago, candidate Paul Hackett was fighting in Fallujah as Marine Corps Major Paul Hackett. No longer on active duty, he's still a reservist.
When I'm on active duty wearing the uniform, I don't criticize. But again, I didn't sign up to serve my country and fight for my country to be told what I can and can't say.
Hackett is in the first wave of post-9/11 veterans running for Congress. And of a dozen signed up so far, get this, 10 of them are Democrats running against the war.
It is one of America's oldest political traditions. Veterans come home from war and run for office. But never, never, say the people who study these things, have so many vets come home so soon to run against the war they were just fighting. Not even after Vietnam.
I think probably what we all share is we share the belief that the military is being misused in Iraq.
If Paul Hackett represents this fundamental change,
I fought for you in Iraq. I'd like to go fight for you in Washington.
Then Republican Van Taylor marches in the tradition of vets who run to support the commander-in-chief.
Do you agree with the way the Bush administration is prosecuting the war on terror and the war in Iraq?
I think that we're doing we're doing a phenomenal job in Iraq.
Taylor also served in Iraq as an officer in the Marine Corps Reserve. But running in the conservative Texas district that includes the president's ranch, it's no surprise that he doesn't share his fellow veterans' anti-war positions.
As a military guy, does something not sit right, though, with the troops turning around and criticizing the command, if you will?
That's their choice. I know why I'm running, and I know what I believe in. I'm an Iraq war veteran.
So as the next campaign season approaches, seeing who wins these battles may tell us more than the polls about how Americans really feel about the war. In Columbus, Ohio, I'm Jim Axelrod for Eye on America.
And still to come, geologists know you can tell a lot from a rock, but it turns out one rock may have a lot to tell some spies.
The war on terror.
The war in Iraq.
Iran's nuclear ambitions.
Government eavesdropping.
Washington's scandals.
The president facing the toughest issues talks one-on-one to the man with the best questions. Bob Schieffer face-to-face with President Bush Friday. See why more people are watching the CBS Evening News.
First, Benefiber revolutionized fiber by making it clear and tasteless. Now they've made it even easier to take by putting it in caplets. Benefiber caplets. What will they do next? Benefiber makes taking fiber easier.
Is your relationship in its early years? Or are you old pals? Are you close friends in the great indoors? Or a family in a full house? Are you living the Purina Cat-Chow way of life? Essential nutrition for each life stage or lifestyle, and access to behaviorists, nutritionists, and vets for a happy, healthy life together. Physical, emotional, complete. That's the Purina Cat-Chow way of life. Indoor cats crave wholesome grains and garden greens. Feed them Purina Cat-Chow Indoor Formula for a happy, healthy way of life.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
Oh, well, I heard that before.
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
Take your Alka-Seltzer.
For 75 years, Alka-Seltzer's been dissolving away stomach discomfort and pain.
Feel better?
Oh, yeah.
You can get pretty congested when mucus moves into your chest.
Welcome to our new home.
Very cozy.
Make yourself comfortable. Just ignore that.
That's why there's Mucinex. It's specially made to break up mucus that causes congestion.
Uh-oh. Honeymoon's over!
Much better.
And only Mucinex lasts up to 12 hours.
Next time, I pick the place.
Yes, dear.
Mucinex in, mucus out.
This great night's sleep brought to you by Lunesta. This great night's sleep brought to you by Lunesta. Lunesta. Millions of Americans who once had trouble turning off their restless minds are catching a great night's sleep with Lunesta. Lunesta can give you and your restless mind the sleep you need. Lunesta helps most people sleep all through the night and works quickly, so take it right before bed. Lunesta is non-narcotic and approved for long-term use. Of course, do not use sleep medicines for extended periods without first talking to your doctor. Be sure you have at least 8 hours to devote to sleep before becoming active. Until you know how you'll react to Lunesta, you should not drive or operate machinery. Avoid taking Lunesta with alcohol. Most sleep medicines carry some risk of dependency. Side effects may include unpleasant taste, headache, drowsiness, and dizziness. Ready to catch a great night's sleep? Just climb into bed and leave the rest to Lunesta.
Coming up in just moments on News Channel 5 at 6, police say he's a determined burglar moving from one business to another without being seen. We'll show you how the stealth burglar was able to work.
Mention British intelligence and Moscow in the same breath, and it's hard not to picture 007 talking and taking on the bad guys with a briefcase full of high-tech gadgets. Well, the spy scandal that erupted in the Russian capital today does not have James Bond, but it does have a genuine rock star. Here's Mark Phillips.
It's an old-fashioned spy yarn with new-fashioned technology, and it's left no stone unturned.
С виду обычный камень.
In fact, a stone was the star of the show on Russian state TV, containing, the Russian security service says, an electronic receiver transmitter. Video surveillance footage from the FSB, the old KGB, purports to show British agents slinking around Moscow. Their mission? To visit that innocent-looking stone in a Moscow park. Video game-like animation showed how it works. Russians on the Brit payroll would beam coded information down into the rock using handheld computers. Then British agents would have that data beamed up into their own palm tops, a digital variation on the old spy's dead letter drop trick. But the Russians caught on, especially when the rock transceiver did what computers do, died and had to be taken away. The data concern the activities of human rights and pro-democracy groups, some funded by Britain and other Western powers. Groups the increasingly authoritarian President Putin sees as a threat. Groups like the Eurasia Foundation, whose director says Putin is trying to accuse them of being foreign agents by saying,
look at these guys, they receive money from foreign spies, they cannot be trusted.
The Cold War may be long over, but spying, it seems, still rocks in new and creative ways. Here at Britain's spy headquarters, they're refusing to comment on whether they're now taking a closer look at that whale that swam up into central London last week and seemed to spend an awful lot of time swimming back and forth in front of this building. Mark Phillips, CBS News, London.
Gotta watch those rocks. That's the news. I'm Bob Schieffer, CBS News in New York. See you again tomorrow. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on cbsnews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart. Good jobs, good people, great opportunities. Come grow with us at Walmart. Face-to-face with President Bush, an exclusive interview Friday. Experience CBS News.
The wet, wicked weather leaves parts of Middle Tennessee a soggy mess. Now residents are trying to clean up after all the flooding. We'll have the latest.
All he had to do was go from one building to the next.
A determined burglar found a clever way to get from one building to the next without being seen. We'll show you how he did it.
And it almost sounds like a soap opera. A dispute over a dog leads to DNA testing. You won't want to miss this story. Your news begins now.
From your news and information leader, winner of the Emmy for News Excellence, this is News Channel 5 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. Mother Nature hit us with a powerful punch yesterday. Heavy rains flooded roads and canceled schools.
Schools in Giles County were some of the ones closed because of the high water on the roads. So when will they reopen? News Channel 5's Mark Bellinger is live in Pulaski with the latest. Mark?
Well, still no decision on that, Vicki. In fact, school officials say it's just too early to make that decision, so we cannot answer that question tonight. But here's why the schools were closed today. Take a look at the road here. This is Vales Mill Road here in Pulaski, and it's still underwater and still impassable, and it'll probably stay that way for a while. And the road will